Logan's crossroads. I hope. The brave and the beautiful are rocked by Annika and Noelle's audacious choice. As the brave and the beautiful prepare for a seismic shift that might permanently alter the landscape of daytime drama, the soap opera industry is a hive of dramatic happenings. Following years of masterfully playing Hope Logan, Annika Noelle is at a career turning point that reflects the turbulent personal lives of her character. Since 2018, Noelle has perfectly portrayed Hope Logan, assuming the part with poise and infusing the adored character with new vitality. Her performance has received praise from critics and has been nominated for a Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series. Rumor has it, though, that the gifted performer is prepared to take on new challenges outside of Forrester creations, the perfect storm of timing. Hope Logan is caught up in one of the most interesting love triangles in soap operas as September 2025 progresses. The character is caught between her intense engagement to Carter Walton and her past relationship with Liam Spencer. The setting for what might be Annika and Noelle's final appearance on the CBS daytime drama is this emotional upheaval. Current narratives show Hope struggling with decisions that could change their lives. After it was discovered that Liam Spencer's brain tumor was a fake, he has redoubled his desperate efforts to find anything positive. Carter Walton, the Forrester Creations coup, on the other hand, stands for a new beginning and a mature love that Hope has fully embraced. There is no more dramatic timing. The unexpected remarriage of Ridge and Brooke has had reverberations throughout the canvas. The character, who has already had many disappointments, is under further strain as Promise's career at Forrester Creations is in a precarious position and the future line's promise is in danger of being eliminated. The lure of new horizons. According to industry sources, Noelle has had approaches from a number of renowned projects that acknowledge her extraordinary talent and on-screen persona. The actress must make a choice that could determine the course of her career as she has just 2 months left on her current contract. Like many soap opera veterans who eventually move on to primetime or film ventures, Noelle has apparently been drawn to the appeal of experimenting with new characters and pushing the boundaries of drama. Noelle's private life has also changed a lot. Her engagement to Dear White People star John Patrick Amidori marks the beginning of a new chapter in her life filled with stability and happiness. As she thinks about what lies beyond daytime television, this personal milestone might have an impact on her career decisions. Kill or recast is the writer's dilemma. The Bold and the Beautiful's creative staff is up against an unparalleled obstacle. The show's DNA is inextricably linked to Hope Logan, being related to almost all of the main plots and the daughter of Brooke Logan. The absence of the character would leave a huge hole that is difficult to fill. The writer's room looms with 2 scenarios. In the first, Hope Logan dies dramatically, maybe in a surprising turn of events that will have an impact on the Los Angeles fashion industry for years to come. In addition to paying tribute to Noelle's performance, this action would give the entire cast, especially Liam Spencer and Brooke Logan, emotional fodder. As an alternative, the program might bring in a fresh actress to carry on Hope's story. Although it preserves the character's potential for the future, this route is extremely dangerous. Fans of soap operas are infamously devoted to their favorite actors. Thus replacing a well-liked actress like Noelle may encounter strong opposition from devoted viewers. The resolution of the triangle. There are a lot of plot points for Hope's possible departure in the current love triangle. If Hope decides to go with Liam, it might be a full circle moment that ends their long-running romance. In order to move away from the drama that has characterized their relationship, the pair may decide to leave Los Angeles together and start over somewhere new. On the other hand, picking Carter would raise expectations for a catastrophic conclusion. In order to maximize emotional effect and respect the 2 relationships that have shaped Hope's recent storylines, the authors may choose to create a scenario in which Hope's happiness with Carter is interrupted by unanticipated events. A third option is that Hope decides to put herself and her son Douglas first rather than either man. This course might present Hope's leaving as a decision that empowers her and demonstrates her taking charge of her life instead of letting her romantic relationships define her. Underground ramifications. An era for the bold and the beautiful would come to an end with Noelle's possible departure. The show's most memorable moments have been fueled by her connection with the characters, especially Scott Clifton, Liam, and Lawrence St. Victor Carter. Whether negotiating Hope's romantic relationships or her career challenges at Forrester Creations, the actor has continuously produced strong performances. The production team must balance maintaining the show's continuity with paying tribute to Noelle's contributions. It is difficult to write out Hope's ties with Steffi Forrester, her mother Brooke, and her son Douglas. Therefore, it is important to carefully evaluate how her departure would impact these important relationships. The due date in November. Decisions need to be taken swiftly because November is quickly coming. Hope's fate is probably already being decided in the writer's room because the soap opera production timetable requires that significant storyline alterations be planned long in advance. Numerous opportunities have been paved by recent incidents. Hope may decide to leave Los Angeles completely as a result of her work-related difficulties at Forrester Creations. Alternatively, she may be forced to choose between her future with Carter and her past with Liam as her complex romantic situation reaches a breaking point. Impact on the industry and fan responses. The soap opera community eagerly awaits the outcome of this scenario. Annika Noelle has developed a loyal following of admirers who value her subtle depiction of Hope Logan's transformation from a teenage idealist to a multifaceted lady with romantic and professional obstacles. Her possible exit would follow a current pattern of seasoned soap opera stars looking for fresh roles. Though few have departed characters as essential to their show's mythology as Hope Logan, many gifted actors have left the daytime television scene to work on other ventures. Looking ahead, November 2025 looks to be a crucial month for the brave and the beautiful, regardless of the course the plot takes. The ecosystem of the program will be affected whether Logan dies tragically, rides off into the sunset with her chosen love, or is replaced by a different actress. The 7 years that Annika Noelle has played Hope Logan have been filled with poignant moments, emotional depth, and compelling storytelling. Fans can only hope that her departure, if it happens, would recognize the actress's outstanding contribution to daytime television as well as the character's history as she possibly gets ready to conclude this chapter. Whether Annika Noelle's narrative continues with a new face or comes to a dramatic end, solidifying his place in the history of the bold and the beautiful, will be revealed in the upcoming weeks. In a surprising turn of events on The Bold and Beautiful Doctor, we will then hear about the explosive confrontation that is rattling the cosmos of the brave and beautiful. After learning of Luna's most recent horrific deception, Lee Finnegan becomes enraged and lashes out at her niece Luna Noah in a violent physical altercation, grabbing her by the neck and labeling her as completely evil. This isn't just any family quarrel. Fans are amazed by this passionate outburst of repressed anger. By protecting Luna from the repercussions of her evil deeds, Lee formerly served as a guardian angel. Now, however, she is a force for vengeance. Imagine the scene. This horrific confrontation takes place in the antiseptic confines of Lee's secret apartment, where words are replaced by desperate hands trying to put an end to the mayhem Luna has caused. As Lee's hold gets tighter, they get more tense. Luna struggles for air, her eyes wide with a mixture of shock and defiance, her face a mask of betrayal and anguish. The drama is increased by this crucial turning point, which shows how even the most committed guardians can crumble under the pressure of unrelenting evil. According to rumors from set insiders, Luna's cries for forgiveness are ignored, and she is forced to make a hasty getaway that might reveal everything Lee has laboriously hidden. Looking more closely at the cat list, what unimaginable deed could drive Lee, a woman of compassion and medicine, to such lengths? All of this is a result of Luna's shady adventures outside of her ant colony, where her obsession with young Will Spencer has taken a dark turn. Fans have put together hints from Luna's fervent excursions, her compulsive observation of Will's every action, and the menacing pregnancy test that looms like a ticking time bomb in the backdrop. Imagine the terror of Luna, who has a history of carefully manipulating people. She may have gone too far by entangling Will in a web of lies, perhaps involving drugs that affected his judgment during an apparently harmless event. This isn't just conjecture. It is the pinnacle of Luna's destructive tendencies. From her previous murders and kidnappings to the horrific torture she subjected Steffi Forrester to while imprisoned in a deserted warehouse for what seemed like an eternity, Lee had persuaded herself that she could rescue this damaged individual. Luna's imperfections are attributed to her tumultuous childhood under her sister Poppy's influence, which may have been affected by Poppy's own poor decisions. Similar to her brief love affairs and careless moments that abandoned Luna. But then reality sets in. Lee's knowledge strikes like a thunderbolt, and she declares Luna to be irredeemably evil because some darkness is too deep to heal. To elaborate on this and imagine Luna's diaries, which Lee found in a secret drawer and which were full of perverse explanations for her behavior, give a picture of a mind that is unbalanced by power and jealousy. Turning to the deteriorating alliances, This violent altercation causes the shaky relationship between Lee and the infamous Sheila Carter to fall apart catastrophically. What started off as a grudging agreement to conceal the reality of Luna's fictitious death is now in ruins as Lee's attempt to solve the issue on her own reveals cracks too large to mend. Ironically, Sheila, who has a long history of opportunistic actions, such as killings and plots that have plagued Los Angeles for years, could end up being the voice of moderation. Lee's unrestrained violence is making Hero's eyes widen. In this turn of events, Sheila might use the situation to take control. Maybe by secretly recording the assault on her phone and using it as blackmail to control what happens next. An intense rivalry analogous to a high-stakes chess game is promised in the fallout, in which Luna willingly becomes a piece in a conflict neither lady really wants. Creating a novel layer. Let's say Sheila confides in a mysterious former ally, implying that she intends to move Luna to a secluded cottage away from prying eyes, turning the custody-like conflict into a cross-country chase with many close calls and betrayals. The tragedy is made worse by Poppy's heartbreak and No's obliviousness as she lives her life in mourning for a daughter she thinks is lost forever, and be recognized by her. Luna remained alive and plotting under the family's nose because to Lee's complex ploy, which included falsified paperwork and murmurs from the hospital. When Poppy reveals the layers of duplicity, the emotional gut hit is guaranteed. Her sister not only staged a fictitious death to protect Luna, but she also permitted more chaos from the comfort of her luxurious apartment with a view of the sparkling city lights that make fun of Poppy's sorrow. Poppy's response, a torrent of tears and accusations, is only to be imagined. She might have stormed into Lee's house with a litany of questions, demanding accountability while her voice reverberated through the hallways. Given Poppy's own relief at Luna's death, a brief reprieve from the ongoing fear of her daughter's instability, this treachery strikes at the heart. To increase. Imagine Poppy chronicling her grief and finding comfort in therapy sessions, only to have a chance meeting with a common acquaintance provide clues that fuel her suspicions and set off a clandestine inquiry that reveals the truth. Confounded by vague memories of his recent party, young Will Lil Spencer navigates his life in blissful ignorance, oblivious to the spectral threat from the grave that hovers over him. His misty visions of laughter morph to disorientation, which dismisses it as excessive. Maybe telling friends about the weird dreams that keep him up at night. He has no idea that his secret lover is Luna, who lurks in the background with the patience of a predator. Her behavior might have involved a spiked drink, which made him susceptible to her whims. As Will works with his brother Liam to put the pieces together, this lays the groundwork for what could be the soap opera's most terrifying storyline arc, exploring themes of violation and healing. By sifting through attendee lists and event security footage, the detectives are getting closer to the truth about Luna's resurrection as a living nightmare. Incorporating made-up intrigue. Assume that anonymous presents, such as a necklace etched with mysterious messages, increase Will's anxiety and entice additional family members to help solve the mystery. Lastly, considering Lee Finnegan's path and her extreme tendencies, the terrifying question of whether she will actually put an end to Luna's reign of terror is raised. Lee's history, which includes orchestrating Luna's fictitious death with careful medical manipulation and confirming the death of her son Finn in an attempt to outmaneuver Sheila years ago, speaks for itself. Although she defies the law like a contortionist, this frantic, throat-grabbing outburst in the daylight portends a serious reckoning. In it, Lee faces her conceit and admits that her attempts to save others gave birth to a larger beast that now threatens their entire existence. If Luna survives, those visible scars on her neck might become her most powerful tool, twisted into a victim story that appeals to the public, maybe by releasing images to the media or making a dramatic legal plea. This is further supported by the fact that after the incident, Nugent Lee withdrew to a peaceful beachfront retreat to deal with her guilt and flashbacks. However, she was forced to choose between atonement and retaliation when she received an urgent call that revealed Luna's most recent ruse. Next, the gifted actor who played Carter Walton on The Bold and the Beautiful Lawrence St. Victor will share some fascinating off-screen observations with us. Carter Walton manages a maelstrom of personal relationships and emotional turmoil on the busy set of The Bold and the Beautiful. This is particularly true now that Liam Spencer escapes a terrible fate and hopes Logan starts to rekindle her previous feelings for him, which foreshadows Carter's tumultuous future. This on-screen mayhem reflects the depth of Lawrence St. Victor's real life, as he exemplifies resilience through his own dedication to responsibility and mindfulness rather than through lines from a script. In a recent open discussion on the Cat Brad Show Training YouTube channel, Saint Victor discussed how he keeps his edge, comparing the daily struggle of being in shape and focus to the pressures of playing a powerful lawyer. He described his experiences working as a coach at the age of 45, when he used presence to inspire his clients. The first success is getting to the gym, and the difficult workouts that follow serve as evidence of commitment. Using a vivid story, picture Saint Victor leading a sweaty early morning session and motivating a group of worn-out participants with tales from his time working in soap operas. He reminds them that, similar to memorizing intricate dialogues under pressure, persevering through a challenging workout creates enduring habits. His approach to his roles is influenced by this mentality, which goes beyond the physical and guarantees that every scene has an authenticity that comes from constant work. Moving to the center of his philosophy, Saint Victor emphasizes that genuine consistency comes from a profound feeling of accountability rather than perfect execution, especially when he balances the fame of Hollywood with the pleasures and difficulties of marriage and parenthood. He clarified that the rhythmic framework of planning, performing, and reflecting that keeps him in line is shared by both acting and fitness. But in order to succeed in these environments, he has learned to let go of total control. He described, for example, how, early in his career, he would stress over every detail of an audition until realizing that embracing the uncertainty promotes actual growth. Let's say Saint Victor learns to embrace flexibility and turns setbacks into opportunities for bonding by drawing on a memorable family vacation where a sudden rainstorm derails plans. This reinforces the idea that life's script frequently rewrites itself, much like how to adjust to a partner's moods or a child's unforeseen needs without feeling resentful. Unconditional love is made possible by this release, and he wonders if his love is constant despite his everyday emotional swings. Applying this to both self-care and relationships. In his exploration of personal development, Saint Victor discusses redefining balance in a society that necessitates continual adaptation and rejecting the extremes of an all-or-nothing strategy that seeks to identify his behaviors. He acknowledged that when he was younger, he would go right into strict diet regimens or back-to-back filming schedules, only to abandon them after a few months because the intensity was causing him to burn out. As if a house of cards were toppling over itself. Now that he understands that better is a dynamic idea that changes with life stages, from being single to constructing a house with his partner and raising their child, he promotes sustainable improvement. Imagine him adding little regular routines, such as taking his family for a stroll in the evening, where talking about the highs and lows of the day serves as a metaphor for preserving equilibrium and avoiding the crashes that result from overcommitment. This change has had a significant effect on his perspective, reminding him that grace extends inward and encouraging a more compassionate conversation with himself when he feels worn out or uncertain. The transformational force of marriage and fatherhood lies at the core of Saint Victor's revelations, changing his perspective on love and self-acceptance and highlighting the necessity of self-inclusion for unconditional compassion to be fully effective. He emphasizes the significance of maintaining this viewpoint, comparing it to favoring a consistent level of fitness versus intermittent attempts to regain it after setbacks. He believes that there are no shortcuts or quick fixes in life. It is a path of taking responsibility for one's decisions and finding strength in the continuous process. Imagine Saint Victor mentoring a young co-star on set, sharing stories about how his fatherly responsibilities, such as bedtime stories interrupted by late-night script reviews, have sharpened his ability to multitask with patience, ultimately making him a more empathetic performer. This could include creating an element, helping his loved ones through difficulties, or nailing a crucial scene as Carter. This all-encompassing strategy makes sure he stays grounded and transforms possible stressors into opportunities for empowerment. Saint Victor concludes his observations by emphasizing that accountability is a freeing force rather than a burden, allowing him to approach the intersections of his family, job, and health with newfound zeal. He creates a purposeful existence free from the traps of perfectionism by resolving to give his all in every area, whether that means working out hard, saying meaningful lines, or enjoying peaceful times at home. Fans find great resonance in this attitude, which provides a window into the character's real-life experiences, which deepens the complexity of Carter's on-screen persona. Saint Victor's remarks serve as a reminder that true power comes from tenacious, caring effort as the bold and the beautiful continues to tell its dramatic tales.